Once upon a time, in the olden days in London, there lived a family named Darling. The Darling family consisted of 3 children named Michael, John, and Wendy. Wendy, the oldest of the siblings, had blue eyes and blonde hair. With her loving heart, she brought joy to the home and always protected her siblings. The family also had a dog named Nana, native to the Newfoundland region, who served as a sort of nanny for the children. Despite Nana's large and imposing appearance, she was affectionate and gentle, beloved by the entire family. Thanks to her presence, the family felt very secure at home. One day, the parents of the Darling family prepared to attend a fundraising event for the Children's Aid Society. Since the event would last late into the night, they entrusted their children to Nana's care at home. John, Michael, and Wendy bid farewell to their parents and spent time playing games and chatting until bedtime. As 9:30 p.m. approached, the children retired to their rooms and fell into a deep sleep. At that moment, a mysterious beam of light streamed in from the roof. Along with the light, Peter Pan and his loyal companion Tinkerbell appeared at the window. Peter Pan opened the window and entered the room, signaling to Tinkerbell to be quiet. Meanwhile, Peter Pan's shadow had escaped. Tinkerbell rummaged through the drawers to find the shadow and eventually caught it, but struggled to reattach it. Wendy, awakened by the noise, watched in astonishment and curiosity as Peter Pan tried to explain why he was in her room. Wendy, intrigued and apprehensive, asked who he was and why he was there. Peter Pan introduced himself and explained that he was trying to reattach his shadow. As Wendy listened, she offered to help Peter Pan and searched for a needle and thread. Finding them, Wendy sewed the shadow back on. As Peter Pan attempted to secure the shadow, Wendy eagerly listened to his story. Peter Pan told her about his adventures in the imaginary land of Neverland and the happy children who lived there, claiming himself as their leader. Wendy tried to imagine Neverland as Peter Pan described it. Peter Pan described Neverland as a land of happy children, where he was the leader. Wendy and Peter Pan quickly formed a bond, and Wendy asked if she and her siblings could visit Neverland. Peter Pan assured her that they could. As Wendy listened intently to Peter Pan, she sewed the shadow securely. Peter Pan thanked her for her help and gave her a necklace made of acorns as a gift. Wendy put on the necklace and hurried to wake her siblings, excitedly informing them about Peter Pan's visit. The children were overjoyed to see Peter Pan. They eagerly anticipated embarking on an adventure with him. However, when Peter Pan attempted to fly, the children realized they couldn't fly. Peter Pan then asked Tinkerbell for some fairy dust. Initially hesitant, Tinkerbell sprinkled the fairy dust over the children. With the fairy dust, they all began to fly. As they soared higher, the view of London became breathtaking, with iconic landmarks such as Big Ben, Westminster Palace, St. Paul's Cathedral, and Tower Bridge visible below. Eventually, they rose above the clouds, and Peter Pan guided them toward Neverland. As they sat on the clouds, enjoying the spectacular view, Peter Pan showed the children the Mermaid Lagoon. While admiring the lagoon, Wendy noticed smoke rising into the sky and asked about it. Peter Pan explained that it was the native campfire and warned them about Captain James Hook and his pirate ship. Wendy questioned why he warned them about the pirates. Captain Hook was the leader of a group of pirates who resided on a ship called the Jolly Roger. Peter Pan described Captain Hook as the worst and most dangerous among the pirates, who only feared one thing, a crocodile. Wendy asked why the captain feared the crocodile. Peter Pan began to recount the story behind Captain Hook's fear. One day, Captain Hook had mistreated a child, and Peter Pan had intervened to protect the child. In a fit of rage, Captain Hook attempted to harm Peter Pan but accidentally cut off his own hand, causing his wristwatch to fall into the sea. The wristwatch was swallowed by a crocodile, and since then, Captain Hook harbored a deep grudge against Peter Pan, constantly plotting his revenge. As Peter Pan and his friends entered Neverland, Captain Hook spotted them through his telescope and ordered his crew to capture them. Wendy warned Peter Pan that they had been spotted. Peter Pan asked Tinker Bell to take Wendy and the children to safety. However, Tinker Bell, feeling jealous of Wendy's friendship with Peter Pan, initially considered leaving her behind. She eventually agreed to stay and wait for Wendy's return. Meanwhile, Peter Pan devised a plan to defeat Captain Hook, involving the crocodile. He sought the crocodile's help and together they approached the location of Hook's ship. Hearing the ticking of the clock still inside the crocodile, Captain Hook realized the danger and sailed away in fear. Returning to Wendy and the others, Peter Pan found Wendy unconscious on the ground, hit by a stone thrown by Captain Hook aiming for Peter Pan. Peter Pan carried Wendy home. When Peter Pan asked John and Michael why they left Wendy alone, Tinker Bell, feeling remorseful for her jealousy, admitted that she had left Wendy alone and apologized. Thinking Wendy would not wake up again, the brothers cried by her side, but Wendy began to stir. It turned out that the stone thrown by Captain Hook had hit the acorn necklace that Peter Pan had given her. Realizing it was time to return home, Wendy and her brothers bid farewell to Peter Pan and flew back to London. When they arrived home, they told their parents about their adventure and introduced them to Peter Pan. Wendy and the children asked their parents if Peter Pan could stay with them. Delighted, their parents agreed, and Peter Pan promised to never grow up and to continue living in Neverland. As Peter Pan journeyed back to Neverland, he waved goodbye to Wendy and the children, asking them never to forget him.